I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
Home. What does home mean to you? For me, home is where it all starts. Important conversations. Backyard basketball. There you go. Can you jump down now? Good times. And hard times too. Home is where I gather my strength and get my inspiration. And Toronto, you inspire me. We've missed you. We can't wait to be back. Your resilience has been unbelievable. I know it's been tough. You came together to fight a virus. Together we are facing the truth of racial injustice and systemic inequality. We are working to recognize the humanity in each other. There's a lot more work to be done. On the court, our goal is clear. Win. It's simple. Win. Bring another championship to Toronto. We are united in that mission and nothing else will do. We will bring young talent to this city and continue to build with our unbelievable players. I said it before and I'm saying it again. We will win in Toronto. I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead this team. I love being the leader of the Toronto Raptors, and I'm here to stay. Off the court, the work continues. Fight for equality in the justice system. Work to prevent children from becoming child soldiers. Grow the game in Africa, and build infrastructure there so kids can have a place to play. To dream their dreams, and to make sure young women and young girls are valued and included. These are global goals. Toronto is a global city. You give me the strength and the inspiration to reach for them. Let's go Raptors! Home.
Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. We got Thanos back on the podcast.
What it do?
We got some good news. We got some really good news. Yesterday, MASAI Ujiri had a live press conference with the media. Finally, we get to see his face in front of the Toronto fans once again. If you guys haven't seen the press conference, it was a good video, a really nice press conference. And if you guys want, I'll leave the link in my bio. But the Raptors, what can we say, right?
To be honest, I know we didn't make that many great signings this year in the offseason, but to be honest, I mean everyone's been saying it, but Masai is pretty much our superstar in our organization, and to have him re-sign with us again is a big thing for us because he's the one that got us that first championship, right? By trading DeMar for Kawhi and doing a bunch of other trades, right? By Arnie, literally the start of our team going to the playoffs, Andrea Bayarni going to New York, we got Rudy Gay and stuff, Yeah. So he's the reason why we're at this point right now.
Well, to start things off, I mean, ever since he became the GM president for the Toronto Raptors, we were on two nasty contracts with two guys that really weren't impacting winning on our team. Like you mentioned, and Andrea Bargnani, everyone thought we weren't able to get rid of that contract. He sent it to New York, heisted them for a first-round pick, which ended up turning into Jakob Poeltl, the 9th pick in the 2016 draft, which we ended up using with DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, who led us to a championship eventually that same year. So, it was a long-term investment, but it ended up working out. And also with Rudy Gay, Brian Colangelo signed him, but it didn't work out. So Masai came in, he was going to start to retool the team, rebuild it. But Rudy Gay's trade to the Sacramento Kings for John Salmons, Chuck Hayes, Grievous Vasquez, and Patrick Patterson ended up turning our season around, ended up turning the franchise around. That was the beginning of a crazy 9-year stretch. And to be honest, Masai said this when he first came in 2013. He said, "I'm home," because before he went and got that GM role with the Denver Nuggets, and he did amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He had amazing times there. He did an amazing job there. He was under Brian Colangelo, with the Toronto Raptors to start his career.
Yeah.
And even 8 years later, after saying that, this is home, he would bring a championship to Toronto, and the narrative with Toronto in terms of people wanting to come here and just this becoming a winning, winning situation, a winning organization, a winning culture that'll attract, free agents here. I mean, the whole narrative's changed because we're one of those teams that won a championship before the end of that decade, right? 2019.
Yeah. I mean, but that's true. But like, if you really think about it, like our whole development, like team development, like the player development thing, hasn't started ever since Masai came to our team, right? Like no one's been talking about the player development team before Masai even joined our organization, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he has to do with everything, like the player development, like the whole team itself, like the roster, like everything is pretty much him. He's pretty much our superstar, like I said before.
Yeah, and I just wanted to break down everything that happened in the press conference, starting off with some details that came out actually today about the details on his contract. So he signed for a 5-year, $75 million deal. So I believe he's getting $15 million per year. And he said, like, I think the media straight up asked him if, like, how long he was here for because they didn't know the details on the contract. And he looked at Larry. He looked at Larry and he's like, forever. Well, you gotta talk to my man over. You gotta talk to my man over there, kind of figure it out. But he's here for the long term. The man's been playing chess while everyone's been playing checkers, and he's played around with a lot of different organizations, thinking that he was gonna leave. And I'm pretty sure he weighed his options because obviously he had a lot of offers out there. But ultimately, he wanted to come back home. His family lives here, they're comfortable here, and he loves his position. He got the upgrade as a chairman. And I'm excited for the future because, 100%. Because, they had a little conversation about super teams and stuff, and he knows, free agents still aren't at that point where they want to come play for Toronto. But Masai has always made it clear that he will make the bold move that a lot of GMs won't make. And he'll go and take that opportunity, that chance. He'll aim for the stars and doesn't care whether it makes it or breaks it. He swings for the fences. And he showed that very evidently with the Kawhi trade. Even though it was a 1-year rental, no guarantee he was coming back, which he didn't eventually, but it paid off because he won the championship. But he is willing to do that. But his main focus is on developing the young stars that we have, developing the young core, the young talent we've actually got this season. He mentioned Scotty Barnes being, one of those guys with the way the NBA is going with positionless basketball. He says he's expecting OG to have a huge jump, which he's having that jump every year.
Yeah.
Especially when he's healthy. And you saw a lot of that last season. And then you see Scotty Barnes in the summer league. You see Pascal Siakam. He had a down year last year and a half since leaving Toronto. But he explained that. He's like, a lot of these players were uncomfortable being in a different situation. He said that Pascal contracted COVID, and even before when the shutdown happened, he was scared to kind of leave and go do his things because I think he was having issues with his visa, and he didn't want to contract the virus, and he was scared, so he lost a lot of weight, and he didn't get to practice basketball because he was inside for so long, and that's why he kind of didn't perform to the expectations we have him at. But I just want to hear your input on what some of the things you heard about Masai talk about.
Yeah.
Or even
I heard that.
Or even the things I just talked about.
Like I'll start off with what you said. Like just basically like the fact that you said we weren't going for big free agents. Like how like the Lakers and Nets have been signing like Kyrie, Harden, and then the Lakers signed like Westbrook and all those other free agents. Like we're not that team. But at the same time, I just feel like I feel like ever since Larry left our team in that signing trade, I feel like now we're trying to build our identity. And Siakam, knowing that Siakam is on the hot seat right now because of the fact that he's been playing pretty terrible the last, a year and a half. That's it. I feel like we're trying to build our identity, and Siakam needs to step up. To be honest, like if Siakam doesn't step up this year, there's a pretty good chance he's gonna get traded in the next season, right? And I feel like we need to get our identity first, and then get a free agent, like just how we did with Kawhi. Like we already built our identity since like 2014. We had our identity since then. Like we knew we went with Kyle and DeMar, and then we went through that for the last 5 years, and then we realized it wasn't going to work out, so we just traded DeMar for Kawhi, and that worked out well. We got the championship.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. So like once the fact that we got Scotty Barnes now, we're gonna start building up the pieces and see what happens from there on out. You know, I honestly believe that the future is bright for us. Players will look at our team saying that, oh, like their player development is really good. Like that's one thing they could look at and be like, oh, we could just join that team and see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Now that's the first thing that people, like even new players, say that our player development is really good. Like the way that we develop players.
Yeah, 100%. He also said, like he was talking about, our main focus is the developmental. Is the development of our younger players, and then when the opportunity presents itself, you know, he won't be scared to shoot a shot. And at the same time, he mentioned Kyle Lowry. He's talking about how, you know, with us jumping in the draft and just the fact that we were getting younger, it didn't make sense to bring Kyle Lowry back. Obviously, Kyle Lowry would have loved to come back if we hadn't been in Tampa Bay and even in the bubble for the last year and a half. He kind of said that set us back a couple years with our organization because it kind of did fuck us over, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure if we had a winning record, we were in Toronto for the, you know, since the time we won the championship, throughout without any breaks or anything like that, or going into the bubble or Tampa. Like he said, like we probably would have been another winning team, and for another season, we probably wouldn't have had a high draft pick, and we probably would have been able to retain Lowry and kind of figure out another direction. But ultimately, Kyle Lowry left in the sign and trade. Masai says straight up that that's the growth. A lot of people in the comments.
Yeah, 100%. That guy's getting a statue in Toronto for sure. Like 100%.
He's like,
there's no doubt about it.
He's like, he's going to get the statue, his jersey in the Raptors, and then some. He said that he's the greatest Raptor of all time. A lot of people in the comment section and just people in general were like, yo, they're like, yo, this guy didn't give DeMar DeRozan any love. And I don't know if it's because he was trying to make it all about Kyle Lowry, or if he just genuinely forgot, or he heard what DeRozan said on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
No, I feel like no. Before you continue, I just feel like DeMar at some point will get his number put up in the rafters. Like he's one of the reasons why we're at this point right now. Like without him, we wouldn't have gone Kawhi and that championship. Like he's the reason why we got a championship, and like, you know, like just how we are right now. Like he's obviously gonna get something. Same with Vince Carter. Like every All-Star we had, like Chris Bosh, Vince Carter, and all those players, they're all gonna get their jerseys put up on the rafters for sure.
I mentioned the Shannon Sharp thing, the podcast.
Yeah. No, I heard about that too. Yeah, like just based up.
Yeah, he was saying how he hung up on him and he was laughing about it. So I don't know if Masai heard that, and maybe that's why he had like
no.
He doesn't. He's not the type of person to hold grudges.
Yeah,
and
I don't think there's no hard feelings on that.
Yeah, and he understands like DeMar DeRozan, like he felt the way he did because Masai literally said he wasn't going to trade him and then traded him when the opportunity presented itself, right? We don't know if Kawhi Leonard was available at the time when he told DeMar DeRozan that, or if he wasn't. But if he wasn't, then it makes sense because there was nothing on the table that was enticing enough to pull the trigger. So on Masai's part, he made the right decision, made the right business move, and he didn't, you know, let that personal shit get in between.
Yeah. No, but to add on to your point, like even if what DeMar said on Shannon Sharp's show, like I don't think it was it was throwing shade at Masai. I think he was just saying it just based off how he felt, and like at the end of the day, they both made amends at the summer league. I think, like that time, yeah. So I mean, I think it's all good. I think they're friends and stuff. Not like actual friends, but like they're cool with each other.
Well, Masai said that they both hashed it out in the bubble.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It was a bubble. No, sorry, my apologies. It was a bubble. Yeah,
he said that they hugged it out in the bubble. We know Larry's going to get his jersey up there first, then probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Then it's probably Vince Carter for being the pioneer, bringing Canada basketball and making it a thing. Bringing basketball, making it a popular thing in Toronto, in Canada overall. And then DeMar DeRozan, I think, will eventually get one.
Yeah, for sure.
But Kyle Lowry's going to get the kitchen sink and then some.
Kyle Lowry's going to get the statue jersey up in the rafters. He's getting everything.
some of the media people talked about Kyle Lowry and then also talked about Dragic, but he didn't answer the question about Dragic because it was part of another question.
I think they should just retire number 7. I don't think Dragic should be allowed to get number 7.
Not wearing number 7.
There's no way he should be able to. They should not allow it.
I know Lowry's gonna probably get number 7 in Miami.
Yeah.
In terms of Dragic getting number 7 in Toronto, that's not happening.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
One thing I did want to say was Masai Ujiri made it clear with the media that Pascal is not on the trade market, but he also said that about DeMar DeRozan. So a lot of people are like,
I was gonna say that right now.
He's like, oh, like, you know, like that means like if he says Pascal's not getting traded, oh shit, here we go again.
I mean, it makes sense right now because Siakam is injured right now. He'll be out for a month, so his trade value isn't really that high right now based off how he played last season.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? Maybe Masai might just wait for him to come play, see how the whole team plays with him as the number 1 option, and then if it doesn't work out, then try to trade him.
But that's the thing. Like I said this on another podcast, but I said let's give him the benefit of the doubt, let him play for a year in front of the fans again, because that's where he did the most damage, and he was the most efficient, and he played his best basketball in his young career. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri also said that they love having these type of positionless wings. You can't have enough of them. And, you know, Pascal obviously isn't going to be there for the start of the season. But for the most part, I think Masai really isn't going to trade Pascal because, you know, they got that history from back in the days. It wasn't just in the NBA, but they had history from back in Africa, right? And also Pascal's from Cameroon, I believe, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think Masai was there when he was still like 16, 17, like literally just about to enter the league.
Yeah, like when Luke Baumute had his camp, I think Pascal was a part of that.
Yeah.
That. But there was reports that came out earlier saying that Masai and Bobby Webster were looking at the offers that were coming in for Pascal. So was that true or was that not true? Because I made a trade video about specific teams that would look for him. And even after I made that video, Minnesota came out saying they want him. Sacramento came out and said they're going to offer Marvin Bagley, Davion Mitchell, and Harrison Barnes with the first round pick in the 2022 draft.
Davion Mitchell's a stud.
Yeah, I told you this. Remember, I told you this before the draft. I'm like, yo, that guy he shut down Pritchard in the summer league.
Yeah,
and they won the summer league championship. But bro, like his defense is on top of shit. Like he's just as good as probably Scotty Barnes on the defensive end. He's just not as long as him and as tall as him. But bro, that man, he definitely knows what he's doing on the defensive end. And he won multiple defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year, yeah.
And like I think multiple of them within the year.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be one of those candidates on defensive player of the year for sure.
There was one play against Pritchard where I'm like, damn, bro, this guy, he looked like
he's quick with his feet. Like I seen it. I know
he looked like he was going to get crossed up, but then he just came back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He held, I think, Pritchard to like 6 points, 0-6 from the field, and they got blown out by like 30 points in the championship game. But another thing I want to talk about was our boy Precious Achiuwa, who came in the trade with Dragic for Kyle Lowry, and he said he was on the phone with them. And
no, I see.
And the first thing he said to Masai was
Precious, for him to come full circle like that. What was that first conversation with him like, and you know, how much did it mean to him to be associated with you again?
Yeah, I remember talking to him one day, and he was actually coming back from the Olympics. He blessed to play for Nigeria in the Olympics, and he was connecting in Atlanta, and I spoke to him, and his first word was finally. Yeah, and my first word was, you are mine now.
Finally, because they have history going back to the Giants of Africa. And Masai Ujiri's response.
There's a pause for a sec though. Yeah. Like just say pause at the end of it.
Yeah. So basically, Precious Achiuwa, it's like, finally. I thought he was going to drop the Rock line.
Yeah.
Finally, the Rock has come back to wherever city they're in. But he said finally, and then Masai laughed on the phone and was like, you're mine now.
Pause.
But yeah, it sounded like some freaky shit, but like, you know,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
They got history, and Masai definitely was looking to draft him last year in the 2020 draft. but he went 9 picks earlier. And then I mentioned this before, but we ended up getting Malachi Flynn. Now we have both of them on our roster, and Precious Achiuwa looks like a solid, mobile, small 5 that the NBA is trending towards. He can play the 4 and the 5, and the man had so many posters. He did the Sean Kemp thing. And, you know, he showed a couple of threes in the summer league, a lot of dunks, a lot of good finishes. He played for the Nigerian team. He won against USA in the exhibition. And our future is looking bright. I know we're not
so bright.
Yeah. And I know we just recently won a NBA championship, but we have to be excited for what the potential is if all these players pan out to be what they're supposed to be or what they're projected at, or if they can even elevate their game and go beyond that, right?
And to add on to your point, don't be surprised if we actually excel expectations. Like if we don't make the playoffs, don't be surprised if we make it to like the 6th or the 5th seed, you know, and then maybe get to the semifinals in the playoffs. Like it's gonna happen. Like because we're playing positionless basketball. Like no one's doing that right now, in my opinion. I think we're the first team to actually go in that direction.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it does work out, I honestly feel like it will, because like the way how mobile all our players are, like anything can happen, you know.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Raptors based off the fact that we lost Kyle Lowry. They don't know how much him and all the other veterans rubbed off on our young core. And I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people like we normally do, especially because we're back in Toronto. We don't have to deal with that outside noise from different cities or different states or whatever you want to call it. We're at our home. We're gonna more than likely play at home. 41 games here and then 41 on the road finally. The season's gonna start October 19th, I think, overall. We didn't get our schedule yet. But Masai
it starts on the 19th.
Yeah. But Masai said straight up, like, he doesn't, you know, everyone's talking about how we're in the middle. We're in a transition phase where we're trying to build a young core. And he said, like, how OG, Fred VanVleet, Pascal, they were the same age as what Lowry and DeRozan were when they were starting off the situation. You know, Lowry was looking to be traded to New York. Masai was trying to break everything up. And all of a sudden, they got their shit together with that Rudy Gay trade. And that turned everything around. And Lowry went from thinking he's staying here for 2 years to making this home for almost a decade. And same with DeRozan. And, you know, they gave us the best years of our basketball that we've ever seen in Toronto Raptors history. If there's one person that you can trust, a public figure, it's Masai Ujiri. He knows what he's doing. His team knows what they're doing. The scouting report knows what they're doing. The developmental team knows what the fuck they're doing. So I got no problem.
Masai and we trust, you know?
In Masai we trust. Brian Colangelo, respects for bringing Kyle Lowry on board, bringing Rudy Gay on board, drafting Andrea Bargnani, because all those pieces ended up panning out for the best, you know, 9 years moving forward for the Raptors. You know, even though he pulled some dumbass trades, gave him some dumbass contracts, when you look back at it, those contracts are nothing compared to what people are getting now. And if those trades didn't happen, if he didn't pull those triggers, then all the pieces and all the history that happened after that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, definitely.
So, thank you, Brian Colangelo, and thank you, Masai. Masai's back forever. We know that he's not leaving anywhere. Toronto is home. He said it in 2013 when he came here. He said it again, and I believe him. And, you know, even though they were playing cat and mouse for a long time, he ultimately picked Toronto. And like I said, the man plays chess when everyone's playing checkers. And I hope he has many more fleeces to come with other organizations where he just robs the whole team of like assets and makes our team a contender again sooner rather than later. Any final thoughts about Masai Ujiri and
fuck Brooklyn?
I was about to say that. That's how it all started. It was fuck Brooklyn back then when they had the super team, but they were older.
Yeah.
It's fuck Brooklyn again. But you know, we have a young core and we'll see how it goes. And hopefully within the next 5 years, we're back sniffing another championship.
Definitely.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in and checking out the video. If you haven't liked the video and you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to it. What are y'all waiting for? Stop slacking, bro. And we'll be back. If any more news happens to come around, because the Raptors news has been very, very slow this offseason. And oh yeah, one more thing. Masai Ujiri is like, it's so funny how the tampering situation happened, right? Because he's like, it's so crazy how all these deals finish at 6:02. He's like, yo, he's like, free agency starts at 6 o'clock. How does it take 2 minutes to finish? Everyone's off the table in like 2 minutes. I don't know if Masai was trying to sign anyone during the offseason, like other centers and other players, but he was just like, yeah, like tampering just for us in the Chicago Bulls versus the whole league who, somehow has a deal done like 2 minutes after free agency starts.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
But yeah, it is what it is. The Raptors didn't make the biggest and most sexiest moves, but I am happy to see all this length in action and all these new prospects and players and second-year players, first-year players, the young core we have. I want to see them in action. I want to see them in Toronto. I want to see the fans going crazy for them. And I want Masai to get a round of applause. And we're going to look forward to the tribute video for Lowry and Danny Green getting his fucking ring finally after 2 years. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace.
The price I want for sure you gon' need.